Hi, I'm Babette. Welcome to my channel. This is my first ever YouTube video, so please leave a like and subscribe if you want to watch more of my content in the future. I will be uploading monthly, so expect a video next month. I'm starting this channel by introducing my OCs from a series which I'm still figuring out, but that I'm fond of and definitely don't have 3 seasons in my head that I still haven't written down. Since I have plenty of OCs within my story, I will only tell you about 2 today. So let's get into the video, shall we? Warning, this may be cringe or nonsensical, just please bear with me. So first of all, I wanted to talk about my most favorite OC, Cosmo. He's one of the earlier characters that I have made, and that has made him my favorite out of the bunch. This has also led him to have a redesign, so he looks plenty different from the original, which, by the way, I made up on the spot and drew with my finger on my phone for 5 hours. I don't know if this happens to other people, but now I can't even draw a circle on my phone. Originally, he was just the typical remotely interesting character that you draw once and then forget about it, or never draw again. But he grew on me after a while, and I decided to give him a backstory, which is how I got his name. Because I decided he was born in the cosmos. Get it? Cosmo? Cosmos? Okay, yeah, it's not funny. But it made sense to me, and so, since I couldn't figure out why he would just pop out of existence within the void that is space, I had the wonderful idea of making him a glitch. If you're wondering what I mean by this, which you probably are, he was formed out of a failed stabilization of atoms, which then created an aware life form which had no real form, like an illusion. Within the multiverse in my story, there's a space council that has to eliminate these rare occurrences and other manipulations of the natural order, so obviously they search for him. Since Cosmo was conscious, he started learning about the universe and how it worked, and also how the space council was dangerous and that he needed to avoid them. After decades of roaming through space, he stumbled upon a planet which was filled with life, and so he got curious. He entered through the atmosphere down to where humans were living. Keep in mind that this is not the Earth in which the main story happens. This is a parallel one in another universe. So, in this Earth, he meets some kids who are curious about him because he's basically a life form made of light, and so Cosmo becomes friends with them since he's also curious about humans. Just as Cosmo is happy, the Space Council arrive and just try to eliminate him, destroying the planet and all humans there in the process. Because I obviously had to give him trauma to make the plot thicker. Anyways, fortunately, he survived and escaped. Since he had plenty of knowledge about the multiverse through traveling, he decided to find a parallel Earth to meet his friends once again. So then he figured out how to shapeshift, or to manipulate his own atomical structure, and took a more human form. So that's about it. After that, he landed on the Earth in which the main story takes place. Usually characters like this are deeply bothered by their trauma and are detached, but I decided to make Cosmo, who had only known the innocence of kids, handle his trauma with a more playful demeanor, and for him to just cope by bothering others to feel better about himself. You can tell I've put too much thought into his backstory, don't you? Anyways, next is Rio, the protagonist of my story. She is actually one of the first characters I have made. At first, she wasn't part of any story at all. She was just a persona I made for myself when I was younger. I drew her a lot for a while, and then I grew up and didn't feel like she fit me as a person, so I just decided to use her to create a story. Since her design is basically based on a demon, I figured I should make the story take place in the underworld, but it didn't feel right to me. So after a strange dream I had, because yes, a lot of my ideas come from dreams, I decided for her to be the daughter of a powerful figure in hell, in which she would rebel against them and flee to the mortal realm. Basically, she angered her parents for setting Beelzebub's cape on fire, on quote-unquote accident in a meeting with Lucifer, And since they locked her up in her room, she decided to just open a portal to the overworld and go in with her oddly compliant butler, Sebastian. Yes, the typical butler name. She was originally the daughter of Lucifer, but I changed it up to the daughter of the Sin of Wrath because it seemed too stereotypical. She also has powers, obviously, and they are related to fire. I really wanted her to develop her character through the story, so she's pretty basic at first. She has an attitude, yet a curious approach as a demonic teenager. So that's about it for today's video. I hope you liked it and see you next time!